Hi everyone, my name is Tanya, and today I'm going to be talking about how smoking and vaping affect the human body, and the respiratory system in particular. We'll look at how the lungs normally work, what's actually inside cigarette smoke and vape aerosols, and how these chemicals damage lung tissue. I'll also go over some recent health statistics, the long-term consequences of smoking and vaping, and the different ways people can quit. My goal is to help you understand what these products do inside of our body so you can make an informed choice about your health. Let's get started. So let's start with how the lungs are supposed to work when they're healthy. When you breathe in, air travels through your nose or mouth and it goes down the throat through the larynx and the trachea and then into the bronchi and bronchioles. At the very end of these airways are the alveoli, and they're basically like tiny air sacs that look like clusters of grapes. This is where air exchange happens. Oxygen moves from the alveoli into the bloodstream, and carbon dioxide, which is the waste gas, moves out so you can exhale it. Most of the oxygen you breathe in attaches to hemoglobin inside your red blood cells, which then carry it all the cells in our body. Our airways also have a built-in cleaning system. Mucus traps dust, bacteria, chemicals, and tiny hair-like structures called cilia push the mucus upwards so that we can cough it out or we can swallow it. This keeps the lungs clean, clear, and protected for the most part. Now let's talk about what happens when you smoke or vape. Cigarette smoke contains more than 7,000 chemicals. Some of the major ones include nicotine, which is the addictive drug, tar, that sticks into our lung tissue and it destroys the cilia, carbon monoxide, which is a gas that blocks oxygen from binding to hemoglobin, heavy metals like formaldehyde, benzene, and dozens of cancer-causing compounds according to the CDC and FDA. Vape aerosols are often advertised as just water vapor, but that's really not true. According to the CDC and the American Lung Association, vape clouds can contain nicotine or nicotine salts, propylene glycol, and vegetable glycerin, flavoring chemicals that can irritate or scar our lung tissue, ultrafine particles that can reach deep into our lungs, metals like nickel and lead from when the coils heat up in the vape pens. So even though vaping might look cleaner, it might smell better, the chemicals still end up reaching the alveoli, which is the most delicate part of our lungs. So both smoking and vaping can cause inflammation in our airways. Cigarette smoke paralyzes and destroys cilia, so mucus and bacteria get stuck in the lungs. That's why smokers often develop a chronic cough. In the long term, smoke destroys the walls between the alveoli, reducing the surface area we need for a gas exchange. This leads to diseases like emphysema or chronic obstructive pulmonary disease, or COPD. In 2022, a study by Gio and his colleagues found that cigarette smoke particles disrupt the way the lungs handle iron, which increases inflammation and it makes tissue damage even worse. Vaping causes its own type of harm. A 2019 case report found that vaping can cause diffuse alveolar damage, which is the same type of injury we see in severe lung disease. Some people have even developed alveoli, which is a serious vaping-related lung injury, which can lead to a lot of hospitalizations. In 2025, a review by Amjad and colleagues highlight how vaping has caused lung injuries in a wide range of users, including a lot of teens. Some of the short-term effects from smoking and vaping is coughing or wheezing, tightness of the chest, shortness of breath, increased heart rate from the nicotine. And in the long run, it can cause chronic bronchitis, emphysema, COPD, lung cancer, and vaping-related injuries. These are some of the effects. This is how it affects other systems in our body. The heart, we are at a bigger risk of getting a heart attack or a stroke. It affects our immune system because it makes us more prone to infections like pneumonia. The brain, the nicotine rewires pathways, making us more addictive, and it makes just the addiction stronger. And even if you're pregnant, we're at a higher risk of birth defects and early delivery. Now let's look at who's affected. According to the World Health Organization, tobacco kills over 8 million people every year around the world. In the United States, about 11% of adults still smoke cigarettes, and about 6.9% of adults use e-cigarettes. Youth vaping remains a major concern. In 2024, 5.9% of the middle and high school students reported vaping. 7.8% of high school students and 3.5% of middle schoolers currently vape. Most report using flavored vape products, which makes it more appealing to them. A simple graph shows these numbers can help visualize how vaping has increased among young people, and even as smoking has decreased. So the good news is that the body can heal once someone quits smoking or vaping. Some other ways to quit include nicotine patches, gum, prescription medications, counseling or support groups. There's also apps and hotlines, different kinds of programs, and public health strategies like warning labels or flavor restrictions. It makes it less appealing to who is being served to. And in the long run, if you do quit smoking, within the first 20 minutes of not smoking, your blood pressure and heart rate begin to drop. From weeks to months, you get better lung function, CLS starts healing. Within a year, heart disease risk drops significantly, and within 10 to 15 years, lung cancer risk can be cut in half. It's never too late to quit. Even longtime smokers see the benefit from this. These are my sources. Sorry. To wrap up, smoking and vaping can seriously damage respiratory systems and other organs in our body, but understanding how they work helps us prevent these health problems. The chemicals in cigarettes and vape aerosols can inflame, irritate, and permanently damage our lung tissue, but quitting allows the body to heal, reduce long-term risk. Thank you for listening, and I hope this information helps you make a better decision when you're thinking about smoking or vaping. Thank you.